I was so brainwashed to believe that he had to lock me in there so that I had to do the write-up of all the things I'd done wrong. It's called an OW write-up, overts and withholds. If he hadn't have locked me in that room, I wouldn't have done that, and therefore I wouldn't have fixed the problem. So thank you for forcing me to do what Scientology wants me to do. That was my mindset. Years later, I've realized, no, that's literally child abuse, but I didn't frame it as that at the time. And there are people who had it far worse than I did. You know, there are people who were raped as children, who were put on hard manual labor, locked in the chain locker of the ship. You know, there are people who were physically beaten by David Miscavige, the leader of the church, and locked up on a hard manual labor camp in the Californian desert, not able to escape. Like, I had it very lightly in comparison to other people. And I wouldn't want people to go through what I went through. I can't even imagine what it's like for the people who worked at the upper levels of management who really suffered.
Were these just stories, or did you witness any of this kind of happening?
So in Scientology, there's the kind of three different tiers, if you like, of Scientologists. So there's the public parishioner, that's somebody who pays to do courses. You know, that would be like your normal parishioner in a normal church. They go along, they learn, they read the books, they do the courses. Obviously in Scientology, nothing's free, so they have to pay for it. And they go home, they have their family life, they do whatever. Then there's the staff member. So they work in the city level churches like London, Sunderland, you know, Plymouth, Brighton. They're called Class 5 orgs. Those are kind of where you join Scientology. Now, you can join as a staff member on a 2.5 or a 5-year contract, and you work full time. So you either work Monday to Friday, 9 till 6, or you work evenings and weekends. There's 2 shifts generally. And outside of that, you have a job to financially support yourself, because you don't get paid enough to, you know, pay your rent or get even food, you know, because it's considered a volunteer, religious volunteer job. So you have another job outside and a life outside of Scientology, but you still are expected to conform. You still are subject to punishments and hard manual labor and this sort of stuff. But the worst is the C organization. That's the elite upper level management positions. So the advanced organizations, which are like the, you know, sort of continental bases, the headquarters, if you like. So there's one in the UK called Saint Hill down in Sussex. There's one for Europe, which is in Denmark. And so on. They're all like, each continent has its own advanced org. So that's where the management are based. And they've all signed 1 billion year contracts dedicating not just this life, but all future lives to working for the Church of Scientology. And they are the ones that are subjected to the worst punishments because they have nothing else. They're paid £50 a week. They're provided accommodation and food. And if they mess up, then they can very easily restrict your diet to rice and beans. They can restrict your sleeping, you know, arrangements. They can say you're not allowed to sleep now because you've got to make amends for what you did wrong. They can, you know, really put you on hard manual labor. That happens quite a lot. So the higher up you get, the worse it is in some ways.